It's so good to have you back, Pixar. Yay, look at him smiling, he's so happy! Yeah, I guess. But he's gonna be really sad when he finds out there's gonna be a Cars 3. Ah! No, not a Cars 3!
Cars 3? Like, OMG, gross.
Cars 3? But I hated the second one! The Black Critic Guy, and I'm here today to review the latest Disney Pixar film, Inside Out. So Inside Out follows joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger, who all control the emotions of a little girl named Riley who's moving from Minnesota to San Francisco. And one day, while Riley is introducing herself to her new classmates, sadness creates her first ever sad core memory, which Joy does not like one bit. Joy tries to stop it from becoming a core memory, but in the process causes all the joyful core memories to fall out, which in turn gets herself, sadness, and those core memories sucked into a tube and sent to the long-term memory section of Riley's mind. So now Joy and Sadness must find their way back to headquarters, return the core memories, and get Riley's emotions in check. Now it's been nearly 2 years since the last Pixar film, and 5 years since the last great and memorable one, and when they announced that they weren't going to be releasing a film in 2014 in order to restructure their company, it got a lot of people wondering, what's next for Pixar? Have they run out of new ideas? Are they just going to resort to prequels and sequels? Or are they going to try to reinvigorate themselves and come up with new concepts and ideas? What would be the fate of Pixar? So when they announced that their next film was going to be an original story called Inside Out, I'm not going to deny it, I thought that sounded like a very intriguing concept. And it just had so much promise to it. Not only did it have a star-studded cast, but it also was being directed and co-written by Pete Docter, one of the heads of Pixar Animation Studios, and without a doubt, the funniest director they have there, with such hits as Monsters, Inc. and the very touching Up. And with all those elements put together, what you got is a winning combination and a return to form for Pixar. Now, for those of you who actually sat through the entirety of my top 10 favorite Pixar films, sorry for the length, not only do I applaud you, but you might also recall that I said in that video that Monsters, Inc. was without a doubt the funniest Pixar film I've ever seen, right? Well, move over, Monsters, Inc., because there's a new sheriff in town, and that is Inside Out. Inside Out has now replaced Monsters, Inc. as the funniest Pixar film I have ever seen. And it's so coincidental because it's from the same guy that made Monsters, Inc. This film had my best friend Steven and I in stitches. We were laughing hysterically throughout. We almost teared up at how funny these scenes were. And there were a lot of clever and witty jokes throughout the film. There's this one joke in particular that is without a doubt the most clever joke I ever heard in a film. And not to give away the punchline of the joke, but it has to do with deja vu. That joke was just a stroke of genius, with most of that hilarity being attributed to the characters in the film, particularly the 5 emotions. Just the way they would react to the everyday situations that Riley would get into and the interactions among themselves, priceless, pure comedic gold. And speaking of gold, whoever was the casting director for this film, they did a perfect job at picking who should voice the 5 emotions. I mean, seriously, Amy Poehler as Joy, perfect. Phyllis from The Office as Sadness, perfect. Mindy Kaling as Disgust, perfect. Lewis Black as Anger, holy crap. Give that person a raise. That is without a doubt the best call anybody could make for Anger. And he was just enjoying every second of it. It had every Lewis Black-ism you could ever see. It just was missing a rant. That's all it was missing. The only emotion that I was kinda so-so about was Bill Hader as Fear. Not to say that he didn't do a great job. He did a fantastic job. It's just I felt like he wasn't really the person that I would say, yeah, he personifies fear. I didn't really see that. I could see somebody else doing it, but again, he did really good. He did a solid job as Fear. And I really enjoyed the pairing of joy and sadness. Complete opposites having to work together to get back to headquarters. It freaking writes itself. But they actually do end up growing a rather strong bond through this experience, with Joy really growing as a character and realizing that joy cannot be the only emotion that this girl has to feel. They all have to work together as a team so that she has a great mix of emotions. Now the concept and story. The concept itself is intriguing, really unique, and overall creative. Something that has been missing from Pixar in the last 5 years, and I'm just so glad that it's finally back. The idea of these emotions personified in your mind that regulate your emotional output is just a refreshing idea. And the story is not just solid, but extremely relatable, especially for people, particularly kids, who have to move from place to place because their parents' jobs demand it of them and have to leave behind everything they knew and loved. Ask anybody who's ever gone through this and they will tell you that it is such an emotional experience to have to leave behind everything you knew and loved and have to get acclimated to a new area. I have went through that many a times, and I really related to Riley's dilemma in the film. And one of the final most emotional scenes in the film really resonated with me, as it was something that I also experienced. And finally, the animation. Wow, I went in reverse with this review. But the animation, once again, it's solid, but it's Pixar. You kind of come to expect that. But I really like the look and design of the emotions. They are just on freaking point, and they look so freaking fuzzy, as if they were designed to become toys. Not so subtle there, Pixar. Not so subtle. But who am I kidding? I'm probably gonna buy them all anyway. Now, though my experience with this film is mostly positive, I do have a few slight issues with the film. The first one is the pacing of the film was a bit slow in some places, particularly the long-term memory sections. I mean, it just felt like it would drag on for forever and ever and ever, which makes sense. They're in the long-term memory, which is like this huge maze-like place, but it also ended up becoming really repetitive, with them being so close yet so far, or being so close and just so far. But honestly, the biggest fault I found with this movie was with this character, Bing Bong. Now keep in mind, I'm not saying that he's a terrible character, it's just that this character seemed like he would work better in small doses. Like, if he was in the film for about 5 to 10 minutes and then went on his merry way, that would have been perfect. But this character overstays his welcome and stays with the group for most of the journey. And as the film went on, the character went from being whimsical, innocent, and playful to just overbearing and annoying. Like, we just have to keep dealing with this character. Leave him already. But to be fair to the character, he does have some really good emotional scenes in the film, but they would have had a bigger impact had he not lingered around for so long. But you know what? Even with those small issues, this is a great film and a true return to form for Pixar Animation Studio, and I'm just so glad that they're back, and I'm glad that they chose this film to be their comeback film, because I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think that it is one hell of a film, a great family film, and you guys gotta go check it out and support Pixar. But anyway, what did you guys think of this film? Were you just like joy and really happy and excited about it? Or were you like sadness and you really didn't care and you just wanted to lay down and forget? And as always, I would like for you guys to describe Inside Out in 4 words. Comment below and let me know, and I will pick my favorite responses for the next episode of BCG Ask Black Critic Crew over on BCG Unplugged. Go check it out. And stay tuned, I do have another Foreign Film Month review as well as an anime review, and hopefully I'll get to review the movie Dope. So until those videos come, guys, if you would like to be a part of the Black Critic Crew and not miss out on a single awesome video on this channel, please hit that subscribe button below, Like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'm Tony Wally II, mixed with emotions at the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace YouTube.
Wow.